Welcome back. It's a massive development coming in over here. The biggest impact at this point of time. Souvik Chakrabarti has been arrested. Information coming in from top NCB sources who've told Times Now that the arrest is, of course, just a mere formality away. In just a few hours, we'll have a formal statement coming in from the NCB that Souvik Chakrabarti and Samuel Miranda have been arrested by the Narcotics Control Bureau. Let's go quickly across to our reporters. We have with us Siddhant, we have with us Mohit Sharma as well as Tamal Saha. I'll go across first to you, Mohit. This is big. Sources have confirmed to us that this is just a few moments away from now, perhaps in an hour or two, that we'll hear the fact that the former arrest of Souvik and Samuel Miranda has taken place.
Well, absolutely, Madhav. You know, since morning, we've been telling our viewers how there was incriminating evidence against Souvik Chakrabarti and Samuel Miranda. The drug chats that we had, in fact, disclosed had very evidently showed that there were, talks and conversations of drugs between all four of them, and that is between Zaid Villatras, Basit Parehar, Samuel Miranda, as well as Souvik Chakrabarti. Now, I am also joined in by Siddhant, our colleague here, and he has, certain an update for our viewers right now. Siddhant, what can you tell us? When is it that the NCB will show a definite arrest for Souvik Chakrabarti and Samuel Miranda?
Well, you see, the sources in NCB, the top sources in NCB are confirming to us that both these guys are arrested.
Stay with us. Let me quickly go across to Navika Kumar, who's joining us. Navika, this is a big development. I believe sources have confirmed that the arrest will just be shown in about a little over an hour from now.
Well, we have confirmation coming in from top sources in the Narcotics Control Bureau. Both Samuel Miranda and Souvik Chakrabarti have been arrested. This morning, there was a raid that was conducted at both houses of the Chakrabartis as well as at Samuel Miranda's. During the questioning all day today, Souvik has admitted to having conversations and procuring drugs on behalf of Riya Chakrabarti. There have been some notes, some diaries, as well as a tab that has been collected, which has the phone numbers and some sort of accounts of all the drug cartel members, and also what we are being given to understand is that this was a syndicate that was working. Souvik Chakrabarti, Riya, very much a part of this entire syndicate, and of course Samuel Miranda was an active participant too. The conversations that we put out, which many people questioned on why are we putting out these conversations, because these are private messages. Well, these are not private messages. These are evidences of crime being committed, and therefore they become evidence in a case of crime, and it is this evidence that has led the Narcotics Control Bureau to arrest both Samuel Miranda as well as Souvik Chakrabarti. The question is, when will Riya be now summoned, because there is going to be a summon that goes out to Riya Chakrabarti. She will be questioned, she will be questioned on why she was directing, for whom was she directing Souvik Chakrabarti and Samuel Miranda, who was she procuring these drugs for, whether they were for self-use or whether they were for further dealings. What we have been told is that dealing is the charge that has been applied, and if it is dealing in drugs, then clearly this is going to be a long affair, and CBI, before the CBI, the Narcotics Control Bureau has arrested both Souvik Chakrabarti as well as Samuel Miranda. The drugs angle being brought in by Times Now for the first time last week.
Well, absolutely, Navika. You broke that story right here on Times Now, where we brought for our viewers the very first time WhatsApp chats that proved that there was indeed drugs that were administered. The larger question is that now, with Souvik being taken into custody, what happens to Riya Chakrabarti? Is it end game for Riya Chakrabarti? That's the question at this point of time. What will the NCB do from here on? Let me quickly get in a word from Tamal on that. Yes, Tamal.
Well, Madhav, it's massive. Shouvik Chakraborty and Samuel Miranda both have been arrested. The formal announcement would be done shortly. The communication to the family by NCB would also be done shortly. But it's a very pertinent question. Does it make Rhea Chakraborty's position much more stickier than what it is now? Because what we have learned from sources, NCB has incriminating evidences against Shouvik Chakraborty, his engagement into drug peddling, in his indulgence in delivery of consignment through conduits like Zaid Viltara, Basit Parihar, and mind it, 5 people have already been arrested before Shouvik and Samuel Miranda. Samuel Miranda and Shouvik Chakraborty's understanding, collaboration and coordination is now in knowledge of NCB with proper proof. Now, of course, NCB would want to understand whether Rhea Chakraborty had also indulged in the same nefarious activity. We have to wait and see whether NCB would be summoning Rhea Chakraborty or not. But then the family of Sushant Singh Rajput all this while had been maintaining that Sushant Singh Rajput was drugged by Rhea Chakraborty. All along they had been alleging there had been misappropriation of funds of Sushant Singh Rajput, that money of Sushant Singh Rajput has been misused, and whether Shouvik Chakraborty had used his proximity with Sushant Singh Rajput to form networks in the larger Bollywood circle to introduce people like Zaid Viltara and other conduits so that they can form their own network and proceed with the entire nexus, entire chain of drug consignment, procurement, consumption and delivery. It's something that NCB would be further